Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've actually pushed back the video I had planned for today because I just had to share this one in real time. It's been one of those weeks where everything has lined up in the most unexpected ways. I got this email out of nowhere about a collaboration I'd been quietly hoping for. Then I bumped into someone at my favorite coffee shop who introduced me to another person who turned out to be this incredible business contact. And on top of that, I stumbled across a solution to a problem that's been nagging at me for months. It all felt like this whirlwind of pure luck, these serendipitous coincidences stacking up one after another. But as I sat there soaking it in, I couldn't shake this thought. In the last year alone, I've had more of these lucky moments than in the entire decade before that. And it made me pause and really dig into it. Is this just random chance, or is there something deeper at play? So I dove headfirst into a bit of a rabbit hole. I pored over research papers, flipped through books, listened to podcasts, and even chatted with a few people who always seem to have good fortune on their side, like things just effortlessly fall into place for them. And what I uncovered has totally shifted how I see luck itself. It turns out there are these specific research-backed ways to tilt the odds so that more good things are drawn into your life. It's not about wishful thinking or manifesting in some vague sense. It's about grasping how opportunities truly operate and then positioning yourself to grab them when they appear. I figured it'd be so valuable to break this down in a video, sharing the 5 strategies that stand out to me as the most powerful for building your own kind of luck. Whether you're chasing bigger career breaks, deeper connections with people, or just those little sparks of magic that make everyday life feel alive and full of possibility. The first one that really jumped out at me is embracing the law of reciprocity. About 4 years back, I was stuck in this scarcity mindset where sharing my knowledge or lifting someone else up felt risky. Like if I gave away too much, I'd somehow end up shortchanged. I held on to everything, my ideas, my go-to strategies, even simple bits of advice that could have helped someone out for free. And you know what? Almost nothing circled back my way. It was like shouting into a void. Then I flipped the script and started leaning into reciprocity fully. I began giving generously, no strings attached. If a friend launched a new business, I'd be the first to buy from them, drop a glowing review, and shout it out on my socials. If someone reached out for a quick tip, I'd pour out what I knew without a second thought. And if an opportunity landed in my lap that wasn't quite right for me, I'd pass it along to someone I thought it would light up for. Almost overnight. It started coming back around like this beautiful full circle energy. People connected me to the exact contacts I needed, dropped game-changing advice that rerouted my whole career path, or whispered my name in rooms full of possibilities. Sometimes it was straight from the person I'd helped, that natural pull to return the favor, but other times it flowed in from total strangers, people I'd never crossed paths with before. It was as if I'd set this ripple of positive momentum in motion, and it kept echoing back through channels I couldn't have mapped out. And here's the key insight I picked up while digging deeper into the research on reciprocity. You absolutely cannot force it or hack the system. True reciprocity thrives when you're giving purely, without tallying up IOUs in your head or scheming for payback. It's not about turning every act into a transaction where you're quietly noting, all right, now they owe me one, and I'll collect later. That just breeds this heavy, calculated vibe that pushes good energy away. Instead, it's about tossing out kindness like confetti and trusting it'll boomerang back through surprising twists and turns. What looks like sheer luck on the surface, being in the perfect spot at the perfect moment, often traces right back to reciprocity weaving its quiet magic behind the scenes. I'd love to hear your take on this. By the way, because I've heard it both ways. Some folks swear you should guard your wisdom like treasure, never knowing who's lurking to steal your edge. Others are all in on the give and it'll come back philosophy. What's your experience been like? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. The second strategy that's made such a difference is staying open-minded and nurturing those weak ties in your network. There's this landmark study by Mark Granovetter called The Strength of Weak Ties, and it blew my mind when I first came across it. He basically showed that the biggest breakthroughs, think dream jobs, pivotal collaborations, rarely bubble up from your tight-knit crew of best friends. They sneak in through acquaintances, those looser connections you might chat with once in a blue moon. Why? Because your inner circle orbits the same world you do, same crowd, same intel, same blind spots and echo chambers. But those peripheral folks, they're out there in entirely different orbits, spotting trends, people, and ideas you might never glimpse on your own. That's the sweet spot where luck sparks to life. Looking back, I'd say 99% of the invites, intros, and game changers in my own world have trickled in from someone I barely see or someone I bumped into just once. If you want to widen your luck's reach, don't go down with the familiar faces. Keep those weak ties breathing. Reach out with a quick message. Grab coffee with that conference contact from last year. Or follow up on a random chat that fizzled out. But here's the thing, those ties won't pull opportunities your way if you're hiding in the shadows. Which brings me smoothly to the third point. Opportunities have zero chance of finding you if you're invisible. you have to put your work out there, front and center. There's this fascinating bias called the spotlight effect, where we all overestimate how much the world is tuned into us. We assume everyone's clocking our every move is that they've scrolled past our latest project and that word of our wins has spread like wildfire. But truth is, most people are laser focused on their own chaos, their deadlines, their dramas, their dreams. It's the spotlight you feel blazing on you. It's mostly just your own glow. That's why visibility acts like rocket fuel for luck. The more you broadcast what you're building, even if it's raw, unfinished, or straight up messy, the higher the odds that the right eyes land on it at just the right second. This has been a total game changer for me personally. I went from sharing my work in these tiny silos, just my team, my manager, maybe a couple of cross-department folks, to broadcasting it to hundreds of thousands, if not millions over time. And it wasn't some overnight fame hack. It was consistent, vulnerable sharing that cracked open doors I didn't even know existed. Start small, post that project update on LinkedIn. Weave your recent win into a casual conversation or tag someone who might vibe with what you're creating. Do it without the brag, just authentically letting the universe know you're out here making moves. It's not about shouting from rooftops. It's about lighting a signal that draws the aligned people closer. The fourth piece of this puzzle, and one I can't stress enough, is becoming someone others can truly count on, the kind of person who builds trust like it's second nature. If you're the type to toss a colleague under the bus to save face, spill grits that aren't yours to spill, or promise the moon but bail with excuses when push comes to shove, you're sabotaging your own luck pipeline. Gatekeeping opportunities or always angling for solo glory. That erodes the foundation fast. Because here's the reality: luck doesn't drop from the sky in a vacuum. It flows through people. When folks know they can bank on you, you're top of mind for the good stuff. They'll loop you into hushed conversations, slide insider opportunities your way before they're even announced, or vouch for you in spaces you're not even in. You could be the sharpest mind in the room, brimming with brilliance, but if your rep is for backstabbing, slut playing, or self-serving shortcuts, you'll hit a ceiling you can't break through alone. We go further when we lift as we climb. When we show up as collaborators who amplify everyone around us. Trust isn't flashy, it's the quiet current that carries the biggest waves of opportunity. And the fifth which I honestly think ties it all together as the linchpin, is to take more shots on goal and mix up the angles you shoot from. It's one of the simplest yet most profound shifts. Crank up your volume of tries and vary the hell out of them. Nassim Taleb dives into this in Fooled by Randomness with his concept of positive optionality. The magic of stacking the deck so every new swing opens doors to wild. The trap so many of us fall into is laser, focusing all our fire on one straight path. When it doesn't pan out, we chalk it up to bad luck or decide fortune just skips us by. But luck isn't a single lottery ticket, it's a barrage of chances, each one a potential jackpot. If you're stuck looping the same routines, same haunts, same crowd, same safe projects, you're throttling how many ways serendipity can slip in. Flip that pitch, that bold idea to a fresh face, kick off a quirky side gig just to see, say yes to that random invite, or spark a chat with a stranger who catches your eye. Suddenly, you're not chasing luck, you're engineering a web of possibilities for it to snag on. The folks who radiate that lucky aura. They're rarely gifted, they're just the relentless experimenters firing off more attempts than the rest of us. Sure, most miss the mark spectacularly, but those rare hits, they rewrite everything. So, these are the threads I've been weaving into my days that have dialed up the good things happening frequency in my life. I still have those gut punch weeks where it all unravels, and then these golden stretches where it flows like magic. And almost always, when I look closer, one of these 5 elements is humming in the background, pulling the strings. To leave you with something tangible, here's your nudge for the next 7 days. Spot one way each day to lift someone up. No agenda attached. Share a killer resource that's helped you. Make a warm intro between 2 folks who should connect. Dole out a nugget of advice from your toolkit, or hype a friend's milestone online with genuine cheer. Pay attention to how it lands in your chest, that subtle shift in your own energy, and then keep an eye out over the weeks ahead for what echoes back into your world. As in a culture that's all about grabbing and grinding, choosing to give without grips is revolutionary. It's not just feel good, it's fiercely effective, a quiet superpower that reshapes your reality. This one's a little off my usual beat. No deep dives into budgets or investment plays, more of a reflective riff on the invisible forces behind success, but I loved unpacking it. And I truly believe folding even a couple of these into your routine could flood your life with more of those unexplainable wins. If any of this sparked a fresh angle on how you chase or cultivate your own luck, pass it along to a friend who could use the reminder. Thanks from the bottom of my heart for being here and watching. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button so we can keep building this space together. I'll be back next week with your fix of personal finance and growth goodness. See you then.